All right, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is the $100,000 challenge again. Right now, we are at another lost day, and this whole month has just been a roller coaster ride. So today, we are at a loss of $387. For the week, we are at a loss of $2,200, and for the month is fairly similar, around $2,200. Okay, as you can see, I still have my buying power of 535. My whole goal for having at least a $500 buying power is to have it in case of emergency, in case I want to buy more shares of stocks, in case they dip and I see a good price that I want to pay it, then I'll go ahead and buy it. And also, it's just to have a safety net in case I want to write more options, or in case I want to exercise options and buy back spreads. I want to have that buying power just in case things go south for my options. Okay, speaking of my options, as you can see, I have 2 call options that I wrote for next week that expires on the 3rd, which is on a Wednesday. The reason why I have this is because I wrote 2 spreads sometime this week, I think on Wednesday. I wrote 2 spreads that actually expired, and I've lost around $500 worth of my collateral. As you can see right there, the put credit spread, that's worth 576, and the other one worth 567. So they both had a collateral of 600, and so combined that's about 1200. But these 2 put credit spreads gave me a total of $450 credit, and so I really only lost about $500 worth of my collateral, which is good. That's the reason why I actually write spreads, is to minimize my losses like that. Now, going back to my call options, the reason why I do have these call options, like I said earlier, is to capitalize on the recovery of next week for this particular stock and the S&P 500. Because I know that if the stock is going down this week, then it'll probably have some sort of recovery time by early next week and or sometime next week, right? And so I bought call options for 2 days on the Wednesday, just because I want to bet on the recovery on Monday and or on Tuesday of the week of next week. And so as you can see, they are both, well, this one is worth $2.58 now, but I bought it at 318, and this one, the second call option, is around 297. And so if you combine those 2 prices, really I spent about $600 worth of these call options. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is because that's going to be considered my collateral. And so if the things go south and the stock keeps dropping, then I'll lose about $600 worth of these call options. And so the other thing is that if it does go up, and there's a recovery, then I'll go ahead and ride the wave. My sell-off for these options is going to be $7.50. And so as you can see here, it's currently at $2.58. If this goes up to $7.50, then I'll go ahead and sell it. And the reason why those are my sell point for both of these call options is because that is going to be where I make my money back and also make a little bit more for that week. And so if you go back here and go to this call option, so if you combine it, right, $600 worth of these call options, and they reach about 750 for each of them. And so if you add that up, it's about $1,500. $1,500 minus $600, you're looking at around $900, right? And so that's a $900 profit. And from that, I gained my 500 back from the loss of this week, and gained $400 for the gain of next week. And so that's a win-win situation for me. I think that having these two call options will significantly increase my profits. And I want to take back my $500 from this week's loss. So hopefully you guys understood what I just said there. I know it's kind of confusing doing all this tiny little math, doing options, but if you followed along what I said from the last video that I made in terms of writing call spreads, then you should be able to get a small grasp of what I'm saying to you. And if you don't, you can just learn how to do spreads by either clicking on the video that I previously made before, or just Google it or search up another video that has a better explanation of how to do put credit spreads, debit spreads, and all the other spreads that you can write for options. Okay, so now that that's all covered, let's go into my stocks and my portfolio. So I still have the same ones. I didn't buy any new ones. May have pivoted out into some place. So let's go ahead and start from the top. AR was my free stock that I just never going to sell because I want to keep it. And IVR, really good stock to own just to get a paying dividend just for holding the stock. I mentioned last time that I want to get at least 100 shares. I'm still working on that, but like I said earlier, I want to keep my buying power at $500 minimum. I don't want to go under $500 because I want to have the option again to, have that as a backup in terms of I want to write calls or I want to buy stocks when they're low. And this is not actually a priority right now. This is just a placeholder for my stocks and paying dividend. Okay, so I still have Ally, also a great stock to own for paying dividend. Now, I still have these Solo, Blink, FSL, FUV, Jumia. So these are the stocks that I'm willing to just hold. Except for Solo, I'm kind of over. My philosophy here is that this will be a stock that's not going to be big and profitable in the future. And so I might pivot out of this stock and go buy X1 or something, because I know the X1 will probably be much more profitable than this company. Now X1 is a bit more expensive than Solo. So if I sell Solo, I'll probably only be able to buy like 2 or 3 of these stocks from the premiums that I get from Solo. So we'll see. I might do it, I may not. I want to see where the stock actually goes. Or, if it keeps dipping to my average cost, then I'll probably sell it and or buy more. Depending on how I feel or any news that comes out with the stock, then I'll probably do that. Okay, now I have FSL. I have the stock knowing that I can sleep well at night because my average cost is $15, and I know that it probably won't dip that much. Well, it did on this day right here, but I know that FSL is a big profitable company in the future, and it's going to be a long hold for me. So I'm just going to keep buying the dip in this case. FUV, still the same ones that I have, never increased my share. Well, I did by 2, but that's this is still in the EV play. It's so pretty much all the stocks I own right now are still the same from what I had before. CCIV, I believe they're going to have they're going to finalize their merger by March or sometime in March and change the name of this stock to actually reflect Lucid Motors. So it's instead of the CCIV, it's going to say LCID, and the name's probably going to change. And so hopefully that entices people to buy more of the stock, and it'll probably shoot up. So I'm hoping that will happen. Okay, BNGO. I know that this will be a big profitable company in the future, so I'm just gonna hold it for now. Like I said earlier, I want to keep my buying power at $500 minimum, and I don't want to go below that because I do want to have the option to buy dips and or write calls as needed. And with that being said, this is my update on the $100,000 challenge. And take this red day as an opportunity to buy and or to hold your stock, and not to panic sell or anything like that. I want you to, if it's a short-term hold and your only loss is around 5 to 10%, then consider pivoting out of that position and reinvesting in other stocks that you are really like holding for the long term and have conviction of, because those stocks will go up a lot higher and it's less speculative, and you'll probably get better sleep at night too if you do that, because you won't lose sleep over the stocks that might drop more than 20, 30, 50%. So yeah, take this opportunity as a buying more opportunity instead of selling more. And don't be afraid to pivot out of positions that you think that will drop a lot more, because I want you to have that grasp of understanding and conviction of the stocks that you really believe in, and reinvest in more of those rather than the speculative ones.